It's time for the losers bracket. We have Team Voice against Team Goomies, everybody. Best of 3 series between the two teams here in the playoffs of the Sisters Call Cup. On the left side, we have Tychus playing Voice. Mr. X is playing Uther. We got Arian on Garrosh, Makto on Junkrat, and Halcon is playing Sonya. Dragonshire is our first map in the series. On the right side, we got Goomis on Zagara, Danazovsky on Murden, Rutek is playing Rhaegar. We got Austri on Urel and Lopaka on Lunara. Again, this is a Polish tournament, so hosted by the Polish community for the Polish community. The whole thing organized by Richu, so big shout out to him for a job well done. And they are using the META Madness format indeed, so that means that we have pre-bans and every single hero can only be played once, so that really limits the hero pool as the game continues. And boy, do we already have some some spicy fighting on the first fight. In the middle, everybody's just brawling it out. Junkrat dies, Murden dies too. And now after the dust has settled a little bit, the two teams are walking away with a kill each. We are in the losers bracket as mentioned before, so whoever loses the series is out of the tournament. Shoutout also goes to the main sponsor of the event, Nevishia. She's actually also part of the reason why this tournament is called the Sisters Call Cup. Apparently favors Sylvanas and I believe some other hero. Turanda, I think. So that's why we currently have this one here going on. So with that now said and done, all the way up at the top lane, we got Ostrikil starting to be a little bit aggressive on this against Sonya, who so far is actually winning this. But we have 3 kills to 1. So the blue team has actually started to pull a little bit ahead very early in the game. We have down at the bottom right now the defense as Lopaka is jumping in. We had actually some really nice Lunara games just generally in the tournament. So this is obviously also coming through because we have 25 pre-bans, right? So it's not only that a hero can be only played once, they are going for the full META Madness setup, which means pre-bans are involved, and you can check them out in the description of the video. But that means that some heroes will just naturally then jump much higher in priority. And Lunara is one of the picks that we've seen fairly regularly now, with big impact too. But in this case, kills are in, and well, we have a 4th one for the blue team, so they're off to a really spectacular start on our first map here. I mean, this is quite nice. If you think about it, this is potentially even a Dragon Knight that gets now taken by Team Voice, but the blue team is already pushing at the bottom of the map thanks to those siege giants and the kills they got for the first horde, without even utilizing the objective. So they can still send someone towards the middle if Sonya holds the top lane, which she's currently losing. But that was well done. Wall destroyed, damage on the fort. We're only 2.5 minutes into the game, so not too bad. Sonya has now also a camp at the top, which is going to help her. Camp was also claimed by the opponent, but is nearly defeated. Murden dies again, making the situation even worse for Team Goomis. They are now a level behind. So they're really starting to suffer here. And thanks to that push at the top lane and Urel clearly suffering in that 1v1, we have the wall about to be destroyed, another camp about to be claimed down at the bottom of the map, and the red team is now attempting to change the status quo a bit by rotating heroes up to the top lane. Sonya has already been told about it, I would assume. We immediately moved back. They gave a free camp to the blue team, and they can now try to go again for the bottom fort. So, quite the strong performance here from Team Voice so far, and maybe at level 10 Team Goomis can start to stabilize a bit. If they need their heroics for that, then fair enough, but they are in a bit of a pickle here. They're down nearly a level, there's another flip, and Rhaegar gets wrecked. Murden jumped in, was trying to help him. We also have now, well, Zagara, not only at the front, but dying again. The counter kill attempt against the Tigers has already backfired. And Sonya is retaking control over the top. They flip Murden into the fight again. Drop him 2. That's 3 kills at the bot lane now. And it's just an utter disaster. So Sonya is fighting against Urel. They could move somebody towards the mid lane and try and get themselves a Dragon Knight. Lopaka is also gone. I mean, they're getting kill after kill after kill here at the bottom of the map. Team Voice is now at 9 kills to 1. and is absolutely brutalizing the opponent. Junkrat is still alive here. Tychus is moving towards the middle and could go for the objective. There's nobody really stopping him. Murden, if he tries to go to the mid lane, will be too late. Yrel can't take the top shrine, so that's DK number 1 in the hands of Team Voice. The blue team absolutely dominant on the first map, at least up to this point. Junkrat is pushing at the bottom of the map. Dragonite actually rotating down here too, so the first thing that they're trying to accomplish is to take down the bottom fort. And I don't see who's going to stop them. A bit of a YOLO move here from the Dragonite, but obviously, again, if they're willing to sacrifice it for that fort, they will be able to do that. Just one more Dragon's Breath and you're essentially fine. Another quick hit against Lunara. Yeah, Dragonite comes in, Dragon's Breath used, a couple of grenades just to be safe, and that is the end of the bottom fort. So, level 10, also very, very close for Team Voice. Looking very, very good here. We'll push towards the middle right now, trying to do more here. Splintered Spear on level 7. No Blossom for Lunara. And with level 10, oof, that's a lot of stuns. Now, first of all, there's a Divine Storm that we're now getting for Team Voice, and then also Leap, and I suppose that all of this is going to be played out after Garrosh flip targets over. Tychus, I do not see him go drill with this build. Makes zero sense to go drill. So him trying to delay his ult by a bit and attempting to tease us is definitely a yellow card from my end. So now we get Odin, as you would expect. But yeah, yellow card for Tychus. Unacceptable behavior. That's not sportsmanlike. You can't tease the audience like this. Not in a situation where we would absolutely love to get some drill, but he didn't even go for an auto attack, brother. So yeah. Big plays. Oh my god. Like, what the hell? That was a triple kill out of hell right there. Massive, massive move by the blue team. I mean, look at this work of art. First the flip, and then it is the Junkrat play that allows them to get 2 more kills. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful what they just did there. Opponent didn't even have a level 10 to defend themselves. So now it's 12 kills to 1. And it's just one-way street Heroes of the Storm here. I think for that last play, I think there are places where that last play is just not legal. Where it's absolutely not legal. Because, let's just face it, that was, I mean, they were unarmed. So, yeah, look at this. It's so good we had to go for it again. The leap on the spot there just to facilitate the extra stun. And Garrosh, Arian, he is just getting them 1 kill after another. Ancestral and Avatar both out, but it seems that Murden at some point just realized this isn't happening. Now Sonya leaps over and gets them another kill. It's 14 kills to 1. They're getting slapped here. Currently, Team Voice is making this look like a quick match. It's ridiculous. Team Gumis has absolutely nothing. They're just sitting there getting spanked. I would be surprised if they can play the next game sitting down, because they are receiving a spanking that is just, legendary. So that's a 2-level advantage currently. Talent lead, play for the next objective. Absolutely crazy. If Team Gumis comes back here, that would be a comeback of epic proportions. That would be a massive 6.5 out of 10 moment. But currently it is definitely not looking like this. The funny thing is that Lunara still has the top damage in the game. They got 1 kill, the opponent got 14, and Lunara has the top damage. So yeah, once again showing that the damage numbers are not necessarily the best indicator of how your team is going to do in a game. I mean, it's one stat obviously from many that play together. But in this case, it's quite clear that Team Voice is running the show. Yrel is the only one that hasn't died yet on the red team. Here comes the next push for the bottom of the map. So they're trying to make a move for that wall. And they're also setting up for the keep. I mean, why wouldn't they? That allows, most likely, some extra pressure from Sonya at the top lane against Yrel. There's a chance, of course, that Sonya can claim the shrine and allow them to get another Dragonite. But, yep, here comes the Maw. They're also flipping Murden around a bit. There's another stun. Quick follow-up. He gets just absolutely bumped around here. Feels like a bumper car at this point, like an extra in the Fast and the Furious series. But Murden receives the Ancestral just a tiny moment too late. So that is him gone. That's the front line eliminated. And boy, oh boy. That's the control over everything that could lead to another Dragonite. So is somebody going to move to the middle and try and claim it? Could be Sonya. The keep at the bottom of the map is certainly taking damage right now. Uther gets flipped forward, and yeah, it's not quite connect with their hero here. Went for that nasty, nasty totem though. Show him who's boss. Show him who's boss, Uther. You will pull it off. But the level 13 talents are not there, and for the blue team that means that they're going to try and retreat. But of course with the Dragonite up, they're going to try and take this. No minion interrupt from the looks of it, so the channel is happening, and that is DK number 2 for Team Voice. Now, fort in the middle, keep at the bottom. That's the question. Likely it's going to be a play for keep. Another stun, and Danazovsky is low, but is able to, I suppose, get away. They're 5-manning the bot lane now. They want that keep. And there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to get it. Lopaka is hopping in with Lunara every now and then from the side to connect another Splintered Spear and tries to poke them slowly down so that they can get some kills. Keep in mind that there's only a solo heal Uther on the other side, so there's that. With this, we got Odin again, and it will it's gonna be the keep at the bottom of the map. Yeah, the keep gone, and Team Gumis, I mean, they need a small miracle in order to bring this back. Riptire, any second now, connects, not allowing them to get a kill, but there's more damage. Oh, yeah, okay. Lunara still dies, and they're actually aiming for the core. I think that might be a little bit ambitious, even with a level 16 talent. Well, maybe now that they're killing Zagara. Maybe I spoke too soon. Okay, forget ambitious. They're actually going to pull this off. They're dropping Zagara. They're dropping Muradin. That's more and more heroes eliminated and killed. Now they can go for the core, and that's just disastrous. I mean, 18 kills to 1. Talk about a spanking. That's an absolute annihilation that we're getting here. I mean, somebody call the police because a crime has just been committed over here. Team Voice with the lead in the best of 3 series in the losers bracket of the Sisters Call Cup as Team Gumis goes down in flames. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Battlefield of Eternity is the second map in the series, and oh boy. The blue team with an absolutely masterclass in exploiting advantages in map number 1. Team Voice now with a chance to close this out with a 2-0. We'll see if Team Gumis can bring this one back and if map number 1 was a one-off and they stabilize now. We have Mr. X on Deckard Cain for the blue team. Halcon is playing Arthas. We have Makto on Qhira. Voice on Liming and Arian on Reyna. Ooh, going into the veteran marksman on level 1. Alright. Team Gumis, with the captain on Castia, we got Danazovsky on Mal'Ganis, Rutek is playing Malfurion, Austri on Thrall, and Lopaka on Imperius. I have to admit that specifically the draft that we are seeing from Team Voice here, maybe disregarding for a second Qhira, is pretty strong considering that we have so many heroes completely banned here. So at this point, also noteworthy that we have a triple front line from their opponents, from the red team. But yeah, Jimmy is getting some stacks. Normally you don't see Jimmy going into level 1 stacks all that much. Thrall is already killing Qhira. And we have that skin again. Still a very, very special skin for Thrall. I mean, love it or hate it, it is definitely very, very different. I think it's more the League of Legends style on graphics, and I cannot decide whether I like it or whether I hate it. I think it's just a completely different style of graphics that clashes a little bit with the rest of the game here, but I, for myself, can just not decide whether I think it's a good one or if it's a bad one. I don't know. I think opinions are pretty split on that. So, Mal'Ganis gets killed. He's the first one to fall on the red team side. With that, we now have the shots currently fired, yeah, well, from specifically Li Ming, trying to poke slowly against the structures that we are seeing in that wall. And 12 stacks for Jimmy is actually not that bad this early on. So, yeah, not too bad. I'm honestly curious if he's gonna be able to get himself enough stacks to make the big difference here. But considering that there's a triple front line, I mean, that probably also triggered him picking that one in the first place. I would have expected Exterminator, obviously, since this is Battlefield of Eternity. But I gotta say, Jimmy is doing okay here. There's a blind going on the other side too. So that's something that could theoretically at least slow him down in the stacking process. But the 4 versus 4 battle at the bot lane has already allowed him to go for 16 stacks. He's sitting at 17 now. Will likely follow up with a level 4 talent that is going to mirror that. So Behemoth armor is what would be expected. But this has so far been pretty decent for Arion. So, yeah, nice output. We got the camps claimed, Shaman camps to be exact, so that they can prepare for the first objective, which is going to be announced in 5 seconds. Ring of Leech for Cassia. At the top lane, Zebra Girl is doing her thing here. And down at the bottom of the map, yeah, Behemoth armor is by the way in. So, as expected. Damage output should kind of reflect that honestly too. Jimmy is currently, yeah, he's at 10,000. Now, it's very early in the game, of course. We haven't even reached the 3-minute mark yet. But if you compare him to the rest of the team and also the opponent's team, you can see that he is clearly very far ahead of everyone else. He's essentially doubling what every other damage dealer has been able to contribute so far. Now, can he keep that up? That's the big question. Just enough saying that so far his stacking process was quite strong. Qhira goes down again. That's the 2nd time. Also, Arthur's. Yeah. This is another thing, though. Arion, I honestly think that one of the reasons is why he takes these talents is that he wanted to have a bit of fun here. If you're playing Arthur's, there are very... okay, so let's put it like this. If you're playing on Battlefield of Eternity, your first incentive with Jimmy is to go for Exterminator. It just clearly is. They get for the immortal damage. Now, if you are looking for more damage in teamfights and the immortal becomes a second priority to you, then with Arthur's and the slow that he brings in with his Frozen Tempest, you are still in a much better spot, especially early on if you're going for ace in the hole. Now, if he can prolong that game and get good stacks on level 1, he can outmatch that power at some point, but the thing still remains, or the argument still remains. I think after game number 1, he just said like, alright, I want to have some fun here. So it's not fully him just believing this is the better choice in this situation. It gives him a bit more damage than against the objective, I suppose. But generally, this is still something that I would personally not have expected. Qhira goes down again. I mean, Qhira is turning on in this game very quickly into the Artanis alternative. So she's currently the punching bag of the red team and just keeps dying. I mean, Qhira has always been a little bit of a handicap when she gets played. Very rarely does she make the difference. Most of the time you win the game despite picking Qhira, not because of her. So now we have 3 kills to 1. Level 7 is on the board for Team Gumis. So they have now 3 kills to 1. They've started to do a little bit better here. Keep in mind, the team got absolutely rolled on the first map. The objective claimed by Team Boys. But, again, Team Gumis is making some plays. They get some kills, they get ahead in experience. They have to deal with the objective on the other hand. And Jimmy, he is going to try and use this also as a stacking opportunity, as Qhira is busy down at the bottom of the map, dealing with Imperius. But in comes the damage. Jimmy now on 22 stacks. 5 for his Behemoth armor, so it's all about survivability for him on that account. But we have the wall destroyed, so this is going to be real damage on the fort that they're going to get here. And also more stacks for Arthas, who is of course trying to complete his level 4 and then possibly get the synergy with his level 16 talent later on in the game. Li Ming with poke, poke, poke the entire time, and the red team has fallen back very heavily throughout all of this, which means that the fort has taken lots of damage and will likely be destroyed. Malgan is also dying. So that's a fort gone with objective number 1. While initially there might not have been enough kills for Team Boys and they lost the XP race and are still behind, they have now taken the first structure, and that is a massive first objective for them. Fantastic shield on it, and taking down the fort was big. 26 stacks for Jimmy is also quite strong. And he has 9 stacks now on his Behemoth armor, which obviously helps him. Currently top damage in the game. Li Ming is going to get a bit farther ahead here, I would guess. But, yep, there we are. And in the meantime, Thrall also helping out the rest of the team. Well, as I say that, he actually decides that he's not really... He's a little bit too good to make a move here and help them with the camp. Instead, he's just falling back. But another reason is that we have Team Voice hitting the top lane hard and taking one of the towers out on the keep walls. Somebody had to start dealing with that, and this is actually exactly where Jimmy comes in. Bit of a flank. Their team should be a little bit careful how hard they want to go on that flank, because they don't have anybody else here. So that is just them providing more opportunities for Jimmy to pew this up a little bit. And Arian has, up to now, really done a great job in positioning himself. Keep in mind, he played Garrosh on the last map. Arthas is gone, though. Arthas is gone, and Magdo also... No, he's still alive? Don't tell me he gets out of this. No way. Qhira? Okay, there's the kill. They got level 10 abilities, and then instantly Malfurion drops the Twilight Dream, and they take Qhira and also Deckard Cain out. So, level 10 early, extending the lead in experience, and getting several kills. Team Gumis is looking way better here than they did in game number 1. That's a pretty low bar to clear, I absolutely agree, because they got just wiped on the first map. But still, important to also put some context to this. So now that the objective is up and both teams have heroic abilities, there's a chance for Team Gumis to get themselves a halftime show. We have Army of the Dead for Arthas, Jimmy with Hyperion, and another chance to stack this up in the middle. There's a kill against Qhira. Qhira died how many times? 4 times now? 5 times. 5 deaths on Qhira. Getting murdered. Totally destroyed. Great ult from Deckard Cain. Big. Nice connect. And now they go for Thrall and for Mal'Ganis. One of them at a minimum is going to fall. And it's going to be Mal'Ganis. So Mal'Ganis is dead. Got dropped by Reyna, who's now at 28,000 damage. More stacks for him. And they push over towards the Immortal and try and take the lead here. 35 stacks, 34 for Reyna, 17 for the Behemoth Armor. Ooh, and Jimmy gets taken out. Alright, Jimmy dead. No more stacking from him. 5 versus 4 now on the map. They want more. They want another kill. The root didn't connect here. They're slowing them down. And another lunge. And Arthas is in trouble. But so might be Thrall. Qhira. There's another Twilight Dream from the looks of it from Malfurion. They weren't able to get the kill on Thrall, but they certainly pushed them back. The problem is that Qhira is low and escapes for the first time, I thought, and maybe not. Arthas is dead. They're also trying to give Li Ming a few more opportunities, but after Arthas has fallen, the second frontliner is now also gone. That's Qhira dying. That's death number 6 for her. And it will likely allow Team Gumis to get even further ahead in all of this. So, well, here we go. We have all the way up at the top. Yeah, 3 kills to 10. And Danozovsky is starting to hunt down Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy, dumm gelaufen, as we would say back home. So that's another death. And this is starting to become more and more of an issue for them. I mean, 11 kills to 3. They can really see where this is headed. At this point, Team Gumis just really has to start capitalizing on the advantages that they take here. They have a 1-level lead. They are locking in a talent advantage. They should be able to go for that objective with ease. Shouldn't really be a problem for them. So once that they have the Big Shield Immortal, then it's really up to them to try and get some real value out of it by taking structures out. Of course, the top fort has been lost earlier, but Team Gumis with really big advantages now that they have to use to take out structures. We have 26,000 damage from Imperius, 24,000 for Cassia. On the other side, 3 heroes with 28,000 damage. That's Qhira, Li Ming, and Jimmy. Li Ming the only one that hasn't died yet. And, well, here comes the attack. Big shield. What can they do with it? At the end of the day, the objective is just a tool that you use to get lane damage, and they have to do exactly that now. Arthas, if they can take him out early, that would help a lot. Here comes the ult from Qhira. Jimmy also using the Hyperion. Qhira again. Whee! Just flipping around here and dying once more. Qhira picks. I'm not a fan. Yeah, I've never really seen her being the reason why a team is able to win. She could definitely benefit from a couple of balance changes, in my opinion. But we'll see. Blizzard at some point is trying to address this. For now, we have the fort falling. Qhira gone, Arthur's gone, 13 kills to 3. 1.5 level lead now. It's looking better and better for Team Gumis. I mean, chances are that we are headed towards game 3 with all of this. I mean, this is currently looking very, very, very nice for them. So, yeah. Immortal gets taken out before it can do any massive damage at the bottom of the map, so it's not like we're talking about keep damage here. Jimmy has been able to get himself a few more connects at least, so he boosted his damage, he boosted his hit points. Survivability, once that's increased, that of course is helping a lot too. Seems like they're trying to go for the camp at the bottom of the map. And, well, honestly, I think before the game ends, we're going to have Reyna in a position where he is actually doing more damage with his level 1 choice than he would have done with Ace No Hold. That usually takes quite a lot of stacks to get there, but he is on a very good way to reach that point. I think the threshold was somewhere between 60 and 70. And given the fact that he's already sitting at 44 and then has also the Behemoth armor stacks, looking good for him. Is that going to be enough to turn the game around? Very different question. Now, for now, they are pushing the bot lane. They don't have an objective here, but they're certainly able to do a lot of damage. They have a minion wave that still covers them a bit, and that's a lot of damage on that fort. I mean, well done. They might be able to take the entire thing down. Especially if they're getting a kill. Thrall, low and gone. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, that's the fort destroyed. They are just making moves when they shouldn't be able to. They are up against an opponent that has a level lead, nearly has a level 16 talent advantage, and just pushed them with a big shield immortal. And it is Team Voice that just continuously takes the lead in structures in this game. If they can catch up in experience, then it's going to be tough times for Team Gumis once again. And let's not forget that Jimmy, with every single fight that they go through here, is just boosting his stats. 49 stacks on level 1, 32 on level 4. And that's a big one right there. That's a huge health boost that he gets. So that's fantastic for especially a damage dealer. Yeah, Qhira again engaging. Everything is pushed on her. Ult from Deckard Cain in the choke point. Arthas doesn't have a 16. They do have a talent disadvantage, so they need to be mega careful. Makto was nearly killed again. I mean, at this point, I would check his PayPal account. Maybe he was paid off, you know? Don't want to go for any conspiracy theories right here, but Team Gumis is targeting him a lot. He has a lot of deaths. It's a race to the double-digit death count, from the looks of it. Red team wants to force a fight, of course, before level 16 hits for the blue team. They're coming in again. Isolate Qhira. Army of the Death that is in. Here comes Jimmy, and they take down Mal'Ganis. That's the end of Cassia. Oh my god. 16 is ready. Bye-bye, Imperius. And they are crushing it. It's a quad kill. Huge plays. Huge plays from Team Voice. And again, they closed the gap in experience, took the lead, and instantly pushed for the top keep with them ignoring the objective. Because why would they care? They can take that keep out without even going for it, and they might actually go more. They have been so confident throughout the entire series, so you could make an argument that they have a shot of doing more damage, considering, well, they don't have Hyperion yet. But still, 52,000 damage for Jimmy, and, well, they're going for the core. They might not be able to take it out, but they can certainly do a little bit of damage here. They, of course, are hoping to also net themselves a few additional kills. Shield has not been fully removed, so they fall back, realizing that this might be a bit too much. And as it stands, there's a bit more damage done. Yeah, take him down, buddy. You can do it. And he actually did damage. He actually did damage. So, not too bad. That's 95%, 94, 93. Look at him go. What a hero. What a champion. 90%. He took off 10% of the core. That's pretty ridiculous. What an absolute boss. That's something that Team Gumis didn't see coming. They lost 10% on the core. Somebody should build this guy a monument. That was amazing. He is the GOAT of the game. Shout out to RTP for that one. 13 to 9 kills. We have 54 stacks now. And, well, off we go. We have the chance to potentially even end the game. Especially when the red team takes it, there's only one keep standing for Team Gumis. Here comes Qhira again. Whee! Swinging around. getting ulted by Imperius and very likely killed again. Bye-bye. She's gone. That is death number 8. But Jimmy is just coming in with his machine gun. Li Ming with resets. 62,000 damage now from Jimmy, and he is not letting up here. Li Ming with the final hits. They're taking 4. They want to go for 5. Voice is on it. Rutek is low, and that's a 5-man team wipe. At the top lane, the push is already going strong. 61 connects from Jimmy on level 1. 44 on level 4. And that's game. 14 kills to 14. A 2-0 victory for Team Voice as they eliminate Team Goomis from the tournament and make it to the next round of the losers bracket. A job well done from the blue team. After an absolute crazy victory in game number 1, we now have a solid performance on the second map, and they take Battlefield of Eternity and therefore the series. GG.